Hey!
Hey, you alright?
Yeah. Just a
Yeah.
restart.
Yeah, I just restarted it and it works now.
Oh. Yeah, it sounds like a Microsoft kind of thing to do.
Yeah.
Just
I
like,
mean, what is that about? How ridiculous is that? You just restart your computer and it works.
yeah, I know, like, I've tested a bunch of stuff, like Zoom and FaceTime and everything, and, like, they're good, and Skype's good, but Skype's the one where I have the issues of, like, of it just freaking out and stuff, you know?
Hmm. What does the quality look like on your end?
Not too bad, yeah. It's alright.
Looks super pixely on mine, but it might just be my internet.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like 480p feeling, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
But that's about as good as it gets over this shit, I think. No one's actually doing full HD yet.
Yeah, I've got the A7S recording, but I might need to check it in a minute and see what it looks like.
Yeah, I know. I had this. The last one I did with a friend, I set mine, and it was like I had my lens on 1.8, so it was just fine here, and then I'll be here, and I'll be out of focus, and it was just a nightmare.
Ah, shit. Well, the A7 I'm using's got incredible autofocus.
Oh shit!
So
Yeah.
should be fine. What were you using to film?
It was a Blackmagic Pocket Cam, so it's got dog shit. I don't even know if it's got autofocus anyway. It's probably not.
Yeah. What do you think about that camera?
I love it. Yeah, for like a tiny little camera, it's unbelievable.
Cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like as soon as you put a speed booster on it, because I've got the little Micro Four Thirds one, and you put a decent lens on and give it a V-lock, I know that kind of goes against the point of it, but then it's a lot. It's just a really powerful camera. Like, it was better than my FS5, I think, in a way.
Yeah.
Just as far as like it's spitting out a nice clean ProRes, and I didn't have to have the Shogun and everything.
Yeah, I'm using the FS5 at the moment. It's I feel like it's sort of just like coming to the end of it now. It's very shit in low light. And you can do some nice stuff with it. I just think it's starting to get overtaken now by smaller, cheaper cameras.
That's it. It was bang on when it first came out, and you could put it through the Atmos and stuff. It was like, I couldn't believe how good it was from this little parcel that was just had like a tiny footprint. Yeah, I remember when I got it out the box, just the body. It had the kind of same footprint as a 5D that I had, and I was like, it's the same fucking size, but like obviously slightly thicker, but just such a good camera for its size.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy now though, isn't it? Like A7s, you've got like the Blackmagic. Just it's crazy how tiny they are. Literally, like even just the A6500. I use the A6500 for loads of random things, like a B camera or C camera. And if you're shooting 4K, it looks nice. Looks really nice.
It's got inbuilt stabilization, everything that, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a small camera too. Like, I had the A6300, and it was a real good like travel camera, or just a B camera you can throw up.
Yeah, really I always recommend them. Like, if anyone asks me what camera to get just for like traveling, doing videos, I always recommend those. A6500, so good.
Yeah. No, I bought the big Ursa, which is back there, and it was that was to replace my FS5, and I kind of I love it. The picture you get from it's bang on, and for most of the shoots I would use that. But if there was anything, like I did a shoot in Amsterdam just before this kicked off, and I just didn't take it. I took the pocket cam and that's it, because you don't need anything apart from this little you can miss a lot of shots having a bigger camera. I think having those small cameras makes it much more what you get out of it can be better.
Yeah, it's just I mean, what do you normally use for shoots? What would you say is a sort of standard?
My camera setup. Yeah. What do you mean? It ranges from the Pocket on a Ronin, or the Ursa on sticks, or a dolly, or I rarely use jibs, to be fair, but just everything. A lot of handheld stuff I'd use the Ursa for, And I like shooting handheld more than I do with gimbal these days anyway, just because.
It's got a nicer feel, hasn't it?
Yeah, and again though, it's getting more organic shots that you would never have gotten if you're trying to really set this thing up.
Yeah.
It's nice to just whip it out. You can be like, especially over the 24-70, you can be getting a nice wide of something, then a tight of something, and moving around. And if you really needed to, like a tiny bit of warp stabilization these days is just sorts it straight out.
Yeah, I mean, I think people just get obsessed with equipment, don't they? Yeah. People get obsessed with just like getting every single little piece of equipment. And for me, like all of my favorite videos, I've just shot on the simplest setups.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I try and get too fancy or use too much, I always just end up like missing shots. Or yeah, just I don't know, just you get like an artificial look. I prefer it just like keeping it simple.
Yeah, and so like you've got a slate back there, even with say interviews and stuff. I found even not slating things is nicer. Because the last thing you need is like you sit down your interviewee, and then there's a clapboard in front of their face, and all of a sudden it becomes
makes them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and they lock up a bit.
For sure.
Instead of it just being a conversation, then rolling into it.
Exactly. Yeah, I've done so many interviews now because just throughout the years, just doing random work like corporate stuff, and obviously the majority of people just feel extremely uncomfortable as soon as you surround them with lights, cameras, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I guess you learn over time like different tricks, don't you, just to make people feel more comfortable. But yeah. the less you can have around them, the more chilled out they'll be.
Yeah, for sure. I even think it's like if you could really get away with it, a lot of people would be more comfortable with just an iPhone. Just think of like there'll be times everybody's used to a phone being pointed on them these days, and people taking pictures or videos to some degree, and that people are kind of getting used to that, I feel. So if you could just shoot interviews on an iPhone, even these days, the iPhone 11 Pro is just ridiculous, the camera on it. You could get away with a lot of stuff, especially if it's going out for Instagram and that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the other thing as well, like people just getting obsessed with quality and obsessed with equipment when 99% of the content is just going to be used on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Or like even now for stories, and the quality is just shit anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it's such a big issue, equipment.
Nah, definitely not. And it's in a way that's kind of worrying. And I think
it is, yeah.
It's been on this pattern for a while now, where like DPs 10 years ago, say, the part of the access is like there was a point where you had to have Alexa Mini money or F55 money, and then suddenly the FS7 came along and diluted a lot of that, and it meant that the entry level was lower. And then now we're just talking about cameras that are £1,100 but amazingly good. So the entry level's lower again, which just means more people can access it, which is great for art, but then it's also scary when you're trying not to get liquidated.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like anyone with an A6500 now can just like produce a cool video. You know, they can learn Premiere from YouTube for a couple of weeks. They can download some cool like packs and stuff, look packs and all of that.
Yeah.
And like obviously you can tell the difference between we can tell the difference between someone that's like, you know, legit and someone that's just sort of like shooting on an A6500. But I'd say the majority of the people out there wouldn't really be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just like it obviously depends how good they are, but you can get very far with just very minimal money and equipment nowadays.
I do like it though at the same time, because
like
I say, we wouldn't be here doing what we do if it wasn't for that bar lowering anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
And think about the amount of cool things that have come out of people using FS7s over the years. There's like so many individual like indie features and stuff and indie docs that have come out of the fact that you can buy a camera for $7,000 and pretty much have a production company going.
Exactly.
That all that's going to do is just create a wider array of cool documentaries and stories, and like the YouTube market blows up because you can make a 20-minute documentary on your holidays about one particular subject, put it on YouTube, and it's just, if the content's nice, people will watch it, and
Exactly.
it's just more fun stuff to watch, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Do you make personal content, or is it all just for work?
It's all just for work, really. Like,
Yeah.
the past 2 times I've been to Bali now, I've taken the pocket camera with me and my A7, and I've
Just never got around to using it.
it was pointless. Like, I just, every single opportunity that I'd need to, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'll get my iPhone out and take a picture of that. There's
Yeah,
never
exactly.
been a time when, like, I don't know, it just takes so much planning, and especially when you've got NDs and all that kind of thing on the go. No, I just never make any, and I'm always worried as well a little bit that you've kind of got to hit a certain standard, otherwise if you come back from holiday and you've made this holiday edit and it's like, oh yeah, that's quite average,
Yeah.
then it looks bad on you, so you have to kind of you feel like you have to knock it out the park or just not do it, and I'm always just not do it because I'd rather just enjoy the whole day a bit more. We do this
That's
week
the
in,
thing.
week out.
Have you seen the guy on Vimeo that makes these like crazy travel videos?
No.
He uses like hyperlapses. He did like a video in Tokyo, and it was just loads of like mental hyperlapses. But so that guy just shoots on basically an A6500 or an A7, just very basic equipment, just like one of those little handheld gimbals.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch his videos, like that's the sort of level you're competing with. So whenever I take like a little camera, I always end up doing a few shots. I start editing it, and I'm like, I can't be arsed with this. Like, people are going to be comparing it to these like mental travel videos, so I just never get around to doing it.
Yeah, I think that's it. And there are some people who specialize in it, like Sam Calder. He basically, you'll have seen some of his work, right?
Who's that? Say again.
Sam Calder.
I don't think so.
He might be. I don't think that's who you're talking about, because he's gone. He started out as a filmmaker, and he's done some work with Jim Shark, and he kind of just he was at the front of using a Phantom and mixing it with a Ronin, and just
what's
really
his name again? Let me just quickly search his name.
Sam Calder with a K. But he's now progressed into KOLD.
KOLD. What is it? KOLD?
ER. Calder.
Yeah.
He'll have a
It's got
ton
like
of followers.
wildlife stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
That might be him. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
If he's got probably over 100,000 followers, that'll be him. If you want.
Yeah, this is him. Yeah, I think I've seen his stuff on Instagram before.
He's got 1.6 million followers.
How many?
1.6 million. He's
It's
now.
a joke, isn't it?
He's basically. He was at the. I mean, everything he does is all that teal and kind of blue. The teal and orange feel about it.
Yeah.
But he smashes it. Like he started off being the guy shooting everything, and now he's become the guy who gets shot by all. He's got a production company following him around, essentially. And that's who you're competing with when you're trying to do full-time travel and brand lifestyle stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, and he's still on. I don't think he uses a red that much. He probably does, but I think most of the time he's still on the smaller cameras.
It's like like Peter McKinnon.
Yeah.
And obviously Casey Neistat. I say Casey Neistat's a bit different, but Peter McKinnon's the same. Like when he first started, it was all his content, and all of these guys. It slowly shifts, doesn't it, from them filming to them getting filmed.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I guess people just like build their personality, don't they? People want to follow a personality.
I guess it's a natural progression from like vloggers. Say vloggers spend half the time camera on them, half the time camera on whatever they're shooting, and eventually people just want to hear more from the person who's creating, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it just makes sense for it to go that way, as long as the quality doesn't drop, obviously, because I don't know. Say with Sam Calder, he's moved away from being a one-man band, so he's now got people drawn up, and as well as someone carrying a run, and just people to carry bags, so everything's just gotten more of a production quality about it. So it's not that you're not going to notice a drop off him transitioning into being on camera, because he's upped the production level behind camera.
Yeah. What do you think about all those like YouTubers and stuff?
There's that part where you kind of have to be the old man and just be like, the fuck is all this shit? But there's also the part where it's like, that's the way it's going. The reason YouTubers are getting hundreds of thousands of views is because people want that. So it's like, you can either fight it or try and understand it. And I'm trying to understand it. I mean, even TikTok, some of the shite you see on TikTok, that goes
ridiculous,
viral.
isn't it?
But it's apparently what people like, because it's getting shared, it's getting views. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, I feel like if I was that younger generation, I probably would be doing it as well. I feel like it's just natural now for anyone that's like in photography, video. It's just as much about what you're filming as it is about yourself. But how old are you?
28 last week.
28, exactly. Yeah, same as me. So, well, 29. So, yeah, I feel like we just missed that wave. Like it's sort of like the 24, 25-year-olds. It's they were sort of like just born into this whole social media thing.
Yeah.
Whereas we were around before social media, so we're just like, you know, taking a little bit longer to catch on to it. But yeah, I reckon it's like very strange for a 16 or 17-year-old now to not have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Like, it'd be a very peculiar thing.
Oh, absolutely. You'd be an outlier, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, like 28-year-olds, 29-year-olds, there is a fair few of us that don't, you know, we're not really actively posting on Instagram. Facebook's still like hanging on, isn't it? Now you've got like TikTok taking over.
Yeah, Facebook's by a thread. I feel like their generation now has just shifted completely up to our parents' age. It's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, my mum's just all over Facebook, just sharing shit, getting scammed on a daily basis.
They fucking love the little stickers as well. I don't know if you've seen them. They love sharing them. Yeah. It won't die out, Facebook, because they're more than just that social media platform now, and then whatever's next, they'll just buy it because they've got the money to do it now. Like with Instagram,
that's why they bought WhatsApp. That's why they tried to buy TikTok.
Yeah,
it's whenever they see something coming, they just buy it or they just copy it.
Well, they did a good job, I think, with you know, like they tried to buy Snapchat and got refused. I think it was like 3 billion or something as well. Snapchat's pretty shit as a platform anyway, but
does it still exist?
It does, yeah, but I just can't fathom how they really make money from it. You do see the odd ad on there, but like, it can't be enough to be paying for a platform and turning down Facebook kind of money, you know?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I reckon they made a mistake not accepting the Facebook offer. Because just overnight, Facebook just introduced the whole Facebook stories and all of that shit, and Instagram stories, Instagram Live, Instagram filters, all of that. It just took over Snapchat, didn't it?
Yeah. Like, you can pretty much expect that kind of behavior from Facebook these days, I think.
Yeah, they're just ruthless, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's the same with Apple. I think Apple try and buy everything they can, and if they can't buy it, they make it difficult. Because they know their ecosystem's so big, they make it difficult for people to kind of plug into that ecosystem. It's all about leverage of these companies, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you've been busy before this all went down?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've sort of been enjoying the whole lockdown, just because it's just been a nice break from just the constant traveling. For the last sort of 3 or 4 years, I've just been traveling non-stop. Every couple of months I'll go to a new place, or every month, and every year I make like an Instagram highlight of my year of traveling, and every single year I set goals for myself, and every time I've said, right, next year I just want to travel a bit less, and every year I never do. I end up accepting more jobs and just traveling more. So for me, this is like finally being the opportunity where I can just stay at home, get a bit more of a routine, work on some stuff that I've been meaning to get done, but I've just always been a bit too busy. So it's been pretty good.
Yeah, because you don't even have a gym that you're based at, right? Like you don't. Like you could
Jiu-jitsu.
be at it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I stopped training a while ago. I started training about 10 years ago, and I'm one of those horrible people that retired at blue belt. So I got my blue belt, and I've just basically, since getting my blue belt, I've probably trained about 30 times in total. It's an absolute joke. Yeah, so which is strange because I'm around gyms all the time. I film jiu-jitsu all the time, but I just barely ever train.
Do you
Yeah. What
never
about
try
you?
and take the opportunity to do it whilst you're traveling? No.
I do. I mean, I do sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I work so much that it's hard to fit it in.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's one of those things. I've always felt like if I'm not going to do it properly, there's not really that much point in me doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like training sort of like once every 2 months or once every like month. For me, it just doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah, I can get it. I mean, like, if at that point you're picking up where you left off, with and almost having to get your muscle memory up to it again. I know even if
Yeah,
there's times when I've trained 5 or 6 times in one week, and the advancements you make then are like set, they're good.
it's legit. Yeah,
Yeah, and then the next week you might do like one session, and that like 7 days between a
just
session.
just
It's
like resets back to square one.
yeah, exactly. Everything you learned in that past session, you kind of like you maybe retaining a few percent of it because the next time you're training, you're again just trying to get back into it.
Yeah. How long
Has
have you
to be
been training?
steady. Like 18 months now.
Yeah.
Uh,
You white belt or blue belt?
white belt. So yeah, it was September 2018. It was back end
Where do you
of it.
train?
Carlson Gracie, but it's in London, but we're based in Clapham. I think it's kind of
Okay.
like a satellite one, a gym, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How did you get
Um,
into it?
I don't even know. It was like I was going through a weird mindset. I feel back then, in that I was just like in a bit of a fuck it mood, and I just didn't. I don't know. It was just I needed to shake the tree a bit, and
Yeah.
it just seemed like the one of the obvious ones to go for. Like my opinion on martial arts for all of my life has just been that it's a bunch of shit, and it's very much like Karate Kid. And then
Most of it is, to be honest.
yeah, that's it. Well, I think that like there's so much noise in the sphere that trying to figure out what's actually good is tough. And I didn't, not that I'd made my mind up when I went to train jiu-jitsu, but it obviously the amount of people that do train it and who seem like decent people. Obviously Joe Rogan's a big one, a big advocate for it, and listen to podcasts. The amount of people like Guy Ritchie trains. I don't know. You get the idea that the people who are training it are just different. They're not boxer types, or I don't know. You don't get many
Interesting
meatheads.
people. There's a
Yeah,
lot of interesting people involved, isn't there?
yeah. I feel like that was the appeal of it a little
Yeah.
bit.
So how did
Um,
you hear about it?
I think it
Like,
was. I think
are you into MMA or did you watch
I'd
MMA or?
a little bit of UFC I'd watched beforehand, because I was one of them people who got into UFC through Conor McGregor and just watching him, and yeah, I think that was definitely a big part of it. It just seemed like it was the way to go where you're not going to get punched in the head.
For sure.
And then yeah, I think just the listening to Joe Rogan podcast kind of pushed me over the edge a little bit. And it was as simple as going on Google and typing in like a jiu-jitsu gym South London. It just so happens where I'm at, there's fuck all like around Southeast. There was like one gym nearby. They didn't get back to me. but then the next one down the list did, and then that's the one I'm at now. And I'm obviously glad I
Nice.
did. It's like it's another one of them things in life where I might never have gotten that opportunity. I guess it's just strange.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess if that gym didn't get back to you, you might never have done it as well.
Yeah, that's true. I might have just sacked it off completely.
Yeah, so have you been doing it consistently?
Yeah, pretty consistently with obviously until this happened. I would try and again because like you just never know with shoots when your time off you're gonna get, and
Yeah,
even
it's tricky.
editing on a night time can take up a lot of your time. So
Mm.
I'd tell myself that like in that week I would try and train pretty much every session I could. I'd sometimes do double sessions where it would just be a 3 hour long session. Because I knew then there'd always be something that would come up that would mean that I couldn't do it, and
Yeah.
like that's just a constant, like there'll always be a job, like you need to shoot in Manchester on Tuesday or something, and then that means
Yes,
that on Monday night
cancel,
you
yeah.
can't. Yeah,
It's the same for me. Like when I could train consistently, I would be obsessed. I would train like 4 or 5 times a week, but then I would just like go traveling for a month or leave the country, and I'd just end up stop training, and then I'd sort of get back, and I would maybe go to one session, go back to one session, get smashed, and then I'd be like, not sure about this, and then I'd like have a month off again, and it's just very inconsistent.
yeah. But like you say, that's I can understand why you would drop out of it. Then it's not like you've stopped doing jiu-jitsu completely. I'm sure in the past year you'll have trained a couple times or something. It's not like
Yeah.
some
I
people
still
quit
train.
completely.
Yeah, no, I'll never quit completely. I still train, when I can. I train with friends and stuff, but it's I'm not likely just to walk into like a random gym and train and stuff. But I get quite a lot of opportunities to train with friends, so I'll try and take those opportunities when I can.
Where's the best place you've trained, in your opinion?
What in the world, or
Yeah.
just well, I mean, it depends. It depends what kind of, it depends where you're at in your jiu-jitsu journey. But probably, I mean, all the top gyms, Atos. I reckon that Leandro's gym, NS Brotherhood. I mean, all of these gyms just have like a ridiculous standard,
Yeah.
and they're just the people there are just nuts. Like a blue belt there. A blue or purple belt there will smash like 90% of the black belts in the UK. Just a different level of sort of athleticism, craziness, technique. But yeah, I mean, in England, obviously you got Rogers. There's a few good gyms up north. Stealth BJJ. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't actually done too much traveling around UK gyms. What about you? Have you trained anywhere else, or are you just in the same place?
Yeah, I've trained at like 5 different gyms now. I think like 5 other gyms. There's a place that I like to go to in Bali called Synergy because it's kind of like on a rooftop, and I thought it'd be horrendous being in like Indonesia wearing a gi. Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the heat.
You think it'd be fucking
Yeah.
horrible, but then it's on a rooftop, and the gi sessions are like in the afternoon, so it starts to cool down a little bit. But then it's just the sunset over the trees and stuff, and it's super, just a lovely environment
Very
to be
cool.
in.
Nice atmosphere.
Yeah, amazing. Then obviously the food you can get after it, it's just an all-round good place to be there.
Yeah.
But I trained in New York as well, like a session in each. I had 2 days. So I trained one in Henzo's and one in Marcelo's. And that was really interesting. It was just different to, I don't know, to see what those gyms are like. And you'll have been in both, I'm sure. But yeah, the atmosphere in Marcelo's was super nice. I think because
It's cool,
you'll have
isn't
that
it?
trickle down kind of, even all the brown and black belts there was no ego there, which was really interesting. Like a brown belt was asking me how my session went, and obviously just an out of town and just visiting. Most people wouldn't give a shit, but it was a really good gym to be at, that one, I think.
Yeah, I've never actually been to Henzo's.
Oh really?
Yeah, what was that like? I
was
guess
good,
it
it
was
was
a bit different from Marcelo's.
Yeah, it was. See, Marcelo's everybody was together. It was
Yeah.
it was white up to black. In the particular session I was in, and then Henzo's was their white belt class, and then blue belt and above were in no-gi. I was in the white belt gi class, and that was just very. I don't know. I'm not sure I would like to train there full time if I lived there, because it was everybody would come in. You'd have to stand in your, not just stand in the lineup, but it was like stand in a line of 6 and then rows back and stuff, and then everybody was handing in like report cards who trained there permanently.
Right. Yeah, it's quite official.
Yeah, and then but I felt like the blue belt and above class wasn't like that at all. That was just that was the blue mats that Danaher was leading next door, and that was just I don't know, that seemed to be a little more relaxed.
Yeah, for sure. Marcelo's is just a different vibe, isn't it? It's pretty chilled out.
Which is to be expected, I think. It comes from whoever's setting the standard, and it's him setting the standard, isn't it?
Yeah. So who was taking the class when you trained at Marcelo's?
Marcus Tinoco.
Oh, he's cool.
Yeah. He was, and I saw he was on. I watched his Polaris match when he was last year. It was funny, like he would just. I couldn't believe the pace that everybody drilled at. Like usually you're having a little bit of a jog around, and you're drilling at the pace you want to. But he was just shouting. He's like next, and it was just fast. And it was June in New York, so it was hot as fuck. And it was just real
steamy.
Hard
the room
work.
Gets really steamy as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it was funny. He was shouting like, "I wish I could do jiu-jitsu for you, but I can't. So you're gonna have to do it." And it was just like he had a good atmosphere to it, but fucking it was so hard.
Yeah,
it was intense.
Yeah, who's your coach in London?
He's called Martin Foote. He's under Dickie Martin.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I believe. Yeah.
What's it like?
Sure
is it quite like rough, the gym?
No. I know. Like Carlson's has this
reputation.
Yeah, reputation about it. But ours is very like Martin's the opposite of that. It feels he's a very chill guy.
That's cool.
He knows all the horrible techniques to like grind someone's nose if you want to take the neck and stuff, and like we do get shown the odd few bits of that, but he'll just put funk music on. It's all very like having a laugh, and it's
chilled out.
Yeah, it's got a good atmosphere to it, because it's not let's learn how to, I don't know, it doesn't take itself too seriously. I think it was I'm lucky that was the gym that I landed on first.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
because I hate the whole the Brazilian, I guess it's the Brazilian influence of just going hard, and you sparring even, you're meant to be trying to fucking hurt each other, and when it's a Tuesday night and you've got to shoot the next morning, you can't.
You don't want to be getting like your head smashed in.
No, like you're there to have fun and to learn and to get in shape, to better your body, not to have some fucking idiot just do something stupid. So I think that suits me better. Obviously, if I was a serious competitor or whatever, it would be different. But for what I want to do, it's prime, I think.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, people train jiu-jitsu for different reasons, don't they? Some people like us just train to have a bit of fun, get fit, learn something new, and then obviously you got the guys in the room that want to be like full-time competitors. So
yeah, they've
got like a different mentality, haven't they? They want to smash people. They want to get smashed.
I do love you'll have had it a lot as well, I'm sure. Like someone new comes in and they'll be a rugby player or something, or they're in, like, you can tell someone's fucking athletic. They're just in better shape than you. Like
yeah. They go to the
lift
gym
all the time,
lift weights.
Yeah, and you've got to like spar with them, and you can't be an arsehole obviously, because it's like maybe their first or second session, but then you've also got to keep this fucking mong at bay potentially, and it's just I love that.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, isn't it?
It's interesting, not to beat on people, but like there was a guy who I asked him, I was like, oh, have you trained rugby? He was like, yeah, because he had like a Canterbury top on or something, just a classic rugby brand. Yeah. And I was like, it's like here we go then. And then he just straight away, even though we started from the knees, he just tried to dive his head into me. I was like, what the fuck? And there's been a few times like that. I even took a punch across the jaw not that long before lockdown, an accidental one, but he just carried on. And I was just like, fuck, just had to like rub it off and carry on, because I just full on punch.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was wearing my mouth guard. It's horrible.
Yeah,
He didn't
I mean,
mean to smack me. It just, as it came, I think I was turtled or something. As his hand came through, he just like cracked me across the jaw.
gave you a little uppercut.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon those guys just find it hard, don't they, to sort of control themselves. They play like rugby, it's such an intense sport.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you go to jiu-jitsu where people are telling you like to slow down, do the technique, do all of that. They're probably just, thinking just like, I'm just going to smash.
Yeah, because that's served them well for so long.
Exactly.
Like, in rugby, if you started saying that you were going to use technique and not just run at someone, they'd be like, I do not know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll just end up losing.
Yeah, it's not a thing. Whereas if you were to try and do that in the gym 7 times a week, you're not going to be asked to come back, or you're just going to piss people off who are then a blue belt might then start just fucking ruining them. Because there's always somebody bigger and there's always somebody better. That's the thing. You can never be the big guy in the gym.
That's what's cool. That's what's cool about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, unless you're like the best guy in the world, there's always going to be someone that's, in just like a normal local gym, there's always going to be someone bigger. There's always going to be someone better than you that can come along and just teach you a lesson.
And I think if that clicks early on with you, and you're very much fine with a 5'2"
midget
office worker of some sort, just
destroying you.
Yeah, just choking you. And if you can look at that with a bit of respect and just be like, fuck, that's really, it's almost like a magic trick. If you can be impressed by that magic trick, then you're in, and you'll probably want to learn it. But then some people's egos are too big, and that just pops their balloon, and
exactly,
they're not going to deal with that.
I mean, I've seen people just come into the gym throughout the years of doing it, of just having that attitude of like, I'm the best, or I'm going to smash people. And then they go up against some like, purple belt girl, and they lose, and you see those people just sort of like slowly drift away. They just can't handle it, can they?
It's funny, like I love that, because that's not going to happen in a boxing gym. You're never going to get somebody just, I don't know, you're never going to get a 6'2" weightlifter and then have a 5'2" girl just knock him out or knock him down or just do any real damage, because you can always just rely on just fucking smashing somebody away. And that is the interesting part of it, I think.
Yeah, it's cool.
How's your like every single bit of your work, I guess, related to Grapple Club's probably going to be just on hold, right, for now?
I mean, it's been a weird time, hasn't it? Like, I've been trying to just make new content, but it's hard. Obviously, you can't go out and film stuff. I've just been trying to repurpose old content, edit stuff. I've been doing a lot more design work. I had a bunch of shoots scheduled, instructionals. I had a few trips, different seminars and camps and stuff, which are cancelled. So yeah, it's been a bit of an awkward time for it.
I think the hard thing is, it feels wrong to just wait around. Like, it feels like there is always something to be working on, but not really. Like, even if you go all in of just trying to repurpose content, you know that you're only going to get out 5% of what you would be if you were just out there shooting new stuff and
for sure
doing it. I think that's what I'm struggling with, and people are trying to shoot in isolation and just do their own interesting ideas, but I just can't. I can't bring myself to do that when I know that as soon as lockdown's over and shoots are starting again, it's just going to be hectic. But it's like you were saying earlier, this time off's quite nice for that. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm guessing you had loads of shoots scheduled that you had to cancel.
Yeah, I had a really nice 4 weeks set up. I was going to be, I think I heard like all my first shoot got cancelled on like March 14th, I think it was. I had like 3 enemy shoots lined up. Then I was going to go to Croatia and do a 2-week shoot, and then I was going to come back and have a couple more corporate clients. So like the whole 4 weeks was looking quite nice, and then just one by one over the next like 3 days, I think it was, everything just dropped off. It was just
Cancelled.
yeah, and but I was just expecting it. Like as soon as I'd see a phone call from somebody, I was like, yeah, here we go. Like this is going to be cancelled, because it was getting to the point where I was tempted. Say the Croatia one, I was tempted to just say like I don't think we should be going anywhere, because my flight was due to get into Italy the day their lockdown was initially supposed to lift, and I was like, it's just, airports are fucking horrible places anyway, and if you've got loads of people travelling through it on the same day, potential extra checks and stuff, I knew it would just be a nightmare. And it's like, even when this is over, our job's then going to be harder again, just trying to travel around and shoot.
Yeah, I mean, have you had any job offers? Like,
I've got a shoot next week actually, but it's me and 2 other guys shooting food.
What's
so that's
for?
it. Just
like
for a restaurant.
like a studio shoot. Oh, like in a restaurant.
Yeah, so the actual, all the restaurants obviously closed at the moment, so we're just going to set up like a studio shoot in the restaurant essentially. But yeah, me and 2 other guys, and then that's it. So it's a minimal risk one, I think, and it's quite a nice one to get back into, I think, because it's not, I don't know, like I'm dreading the first big shoot going back. Just
You'll be rusty.
Wrap your head around stuff.
remembering how to use the camera again.
But even handheld, like,
yeah,
I did some pull-ups on a rugby bar the other day in the park, and then the next day I was like, fuck, like my arms just weren't used to it anymore. Even like the fatigue of filmmaking that has on your body, that's just going to be, I'm just not going to be used to that either.
Do you do a lot of the filming yourself, or do you direct, produce more?
I do most of the film myself, yeah. So I'm like primarily DP, but then sometimes I have to direct things, just because like that's just the way it's in the same way that you get a lot of directors who are kind of pushed to shoot their own stuff just with budgets and what have you. Yeah, I think I'm in that middle ground where there are a fair few shoots I do where I've got a director, but then there's still, I'm not fully into that world where I can leave behind the jobs that need to be self-directed. And I don't mind that. It's like, especially if I'm having to do the edit as well, then at least you know from start to finish what the whole thing looks like. You're not trying to build something from an idea that wasn't yours, which I think is really tough sometimes.
Yeah, I'm in a similar sort of boat as you. It's just a lot of the projects I do don't really have the budget to have like a separate director, separate person for each title. So I end up doing a lot of the sort of shooting, directing, a bit of editing as well, which I enjoy doing. Like you said, you can sort of you know what it's going to look like from start to finish, but it is nice when someone sort of like picks up the editing or picks up the color grading, sound, all of that stuff. Yeah.
There's 2 projects out at the moment. They're not out yet, sorry, but waiting to come out that I've shot. And there's been times before where I've seen edits of stuff I've shot, and I've just been like, what the fuck is that? And then these 2, both of them are very good. Like, the edits just, it's something that I wouldn't have done. Like, it's a lot better than I would have done, which then I'm always just like, that's where an editor should come in. Like they've come up with new, like they've taken what you've shot and done it in such a way that makes it better again, instead of just pieced together. It's become more. So I can't wait for them to come out, because they're really good, for just to see how the end result came about. I'm impressed with them.
Yeah, for sure. What kind of stuff do you like shooting the most?
It's quite tough, like when I'm busy, I do like the odd studio shoot, because then you've just got coffee coming to you, you got snacks, you got food, the location might be 45 minutes away, and even if it's on sticks, then you're like, that's a nice day. They're not they're not tough shoots, but then they're also rarely the ones where you walk away fully like satisfied with them. So them sometimes when I'm busy and I need a like, you know, a good one, but usually it's kind of hard to say. I think I'm trying to think of the projects that I've enjoyed the most. I think anything where it needs a good like light build, as opposed to just trying to get away with what you can. I do love having kind of like a couple thousand budget to be able to just bring in some shape to lights and have somebody. There's so many times where I'll do a shoot and I've kind of like wanted to have a HMI in or something, but you don't have the manpower to be moving that around, or the budget to even hire it. I do like to be able to experiment or just add in and make things how they should be, just give things some shape, because like there's even been a shoot before where it was an overcast day and we were shooting a spring summer collection, and without the HMI we would have been fucked, and I had to really get production to get me that. But with the HMI and a couple other bits, it was a much better shoot. I think I just love lighting and planning shots out. You know, the more focused shoots, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't actually had a lot of experience on these on the bigger sets with the lights and stuff. I've always wanted to. I've done some things where I've assisted, but yeah, all of my stuff, like obviously shooting a lot of martial arts content, the budgets are just a lot lower, so everything's a lot smaller and simpler.
Yeah.
But I saw the Anthony Joshua project you worked on. That was cool.
That was hectic. Mental. That was good though.
Yeah. Was that in the studio?
It was. In the studio. The shame about that was, do you know Baby Miller, the boxer? That's who he was meant to fight initially. So the team, the director and producer, they were out in Miami shooting Baby Miller before I got to shoot the AJ bits.
Okay.
So kind of the DP out there had already kind of had a lighting plan. It was obviously the ad was to go back and forth between them. So the DP out there had come up with his lighting plan and applied it to that, and then that was brought back to me to kind of not steer too far away from. Apart from colours, it was like AJ was having a lot of blue in and Baby Miller was
all like red and blue, wasn't it?
Yeah. But then of course like Miller got caught with performance enhancements, which meant I was restricted on my lighting, yet it didn't matter anyway. I could have just changed it.
Could have just gone nuts.
Yeah, but that was probably the most crazy travel I've had for a shoot, because I was already in Croatia for a shoot. I'd had to drive from Croatia through Slovenia, then to Italy, fly back to London, then get up to Sheffield, all in one day. So I got to Sheffield at like 1 a.m, then I was on set for 8 a.m. We did the shoot all day, and then I was back down to London the next morning, flew back to Italy, then Slovenia and Croatia. It was like 36 hours or something.
That's mental.
Between being in Croatia and back in Croatia, it was horrendous, but that was really good.
What was AJ like? Was he cool?
Yeah, lovely guy, really nice guy. That's the thing, like people can easily put on a persona, and it still might have been, but it genuinely seemed like a decent chap. Like between takes and stuff, he wanted to just chat to people.
That's cool.
He was happy at the end to carry on doing extra takes, but it was his management that pulled him away. And I think he understands massively that video is super important. Like he had his own videographer there.
Well, he's got his own team, hasn't he?
Yeah. So they were shooting it all as well.
He does like sort of vlog series, doesn't he?
Yeah. So I think he gets it. He understands why things can take a little while, and why they're even necessary in the first place. I think a lot of big time people don't understand that being on the cameras is what got them to where they were anyway.
Exactly.
So when their patience runs out for being on camera, it's like it doesn't make sense. That's what got you to where you are in the first place.
Yeah. Was that the one and only time you shot with them? Or have you done more?
It was, yeah, and there was then the next year, so last year, there was a opportunity to shoot with him on a Lucasade shoot, but I was already busy, which was
Ah,
frustrating.
damn it.
Yeah.
That would have been
In
good.
fact, annoyingly, my camera went on at the shoot, hired out, but I couldn't make it. It would have been a laugh, I think.
Yeah, if there is a next time, let me know. I'll
Come along.
hold your tripod or
Yeah. Are you a fan of him?
yeah, I am. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, I'll make you coffees.
What do you reckon he'd with him and Gypsy King? What's his name again?
Yeah. Oh, what is his name?
Tyson.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be awesome. I've got a feeling Tyson Fury would win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
know.
You can't beat a Raj Packet, I think.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good, isn't he?
Such as Mike Tyson in his day, there's something to be said for having a little bit of a screw loose, to be some part of your psyche that just rules out normal thinking of like, oh, I'm getting beat up here. He's the kind of guy that if he was getting beat on,
Enjoys it.
would just love it and get straight back into it.
Yeah. Are you a boxing fan?
Not really, no.
No.
I couldn't tell you any apart from Billy Joel Saunders, maybe. I couldn't tell you anybody who's not a heavyweight. I think it's just only the heavyweights that I know.
Yeah, I mean they're the ones that get the attention, aren't they?
Yeah. I think it's just a knockout thing, isn't it? It's the same with UFC. It's rare you get a full-on clean knockout when it's 135 pounds.
Lighter weights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, people can, if people don't really understand the sport, they can't appreciate the technique and what's going on. But everyone understands a knockout. Like everyone understands when you see someone on the floor unconscious, you know who won the fight.
Yeah.
That's and it's even harder with MMA. Like trying to educate people on jiu-jitsu when they haven't got a clue what's going on. It's people just look at it and think people are hugging on the floor.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you watch the UFC last week?
I did, yeah. Yeah, it was good.
I don't know his name. He was the old looking white chap who he was just trying to go twister after twister he was.
Oh really?
He's going head and arm all the time, and then when the guy was trying to get rid of the head and arm, he'd try and take his back, and then when he'd try and defend his back, he'd be going into twister.
Was it on the main card or prelims?
I think it was prelims, you know.
I only watched the main card.
He basically went for a twister. The guy knew exactly what was coming, but still couldn't defend it because he'd just be getting elbows in the ribs. And then he got to the position, and then the bell went. So then that was the round end, and then he came out again and was just going for the twister again, and then somehow didn't get it. And then he went for it a third time, and even Joe Rogan's commentary was just like, he's going for it again, like just surprised at this guy because he was so methodical,
just relentlessly going for
how
it.
he was fucking doing it. Yeah, I want to find his name.
It's hard to get something if your opponent knows it's coming as well.
Yeah, but that's
Very
what made
hard.
this so much more interesting, because the guy knew as soon as he had like lockdown on that leg, the guy
You know he's
knew.
going to go for it.
Yeah, but still, he would just be like climbing the ladder, just that next
Yeah.
step. He'd just be like arm around, then he'd get that, and then he'd try. It was just, even though he knew every single step that the other guy wanted, he just
Just
couldn't
wouldn't let him
defend
have it. Couldn't get it.
For some reason, UFC doesn't come up on my Instagram. I'll have to send you. I'm sure there'll be a highlight reel of it some sort. I'll have to send.
I'm surprised actually. I'm surprised I haven't seen it on some random jiu-jitsu forum or jiu-jitsu page.
Turns out I have my phone on airplane mode. That's probably why it doesn't work, eh? But yeah, like just real good. It was well
Nice.
before. It was well before the Ngannou fight. I don't know. Oh yeah, here we are. Thug Nasty, Bryce Mitchell.
Okay. Yeah, I know the guy.
This chap just looks
Yeah.
like an average dude.
It looks like a bit of a hillbilly.
Yeah, but so fucking like just amazing. Really
Yeah,
good.
I'll check it out.
I won't tell you who won either. I don't even know if I remember who won because it was that late.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really good. That was a really good, like, even prelim card, I think.
It was
Every
cool,
part
wasn't
of
it?
it was good, yeah.
I mean, it's just nice to watch some jiu-jitsu, some MMA. Nice to watch some live sports.
It's just so strange. A few of them took the piss out of like walking out and throwing your hat in the crowd and stuff. Just, it is so, I don't know, it must be so weird being a competitor there. I don't know if it's better or worse to not have a crowd.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of both, isn't it? I mean, for some people it's probably better, for some people it's worse. Like, it must be nice not having, not having people booing, and not having that pressure of just like thousands of people watching you. But then also that it probably goes the other way, doesn't it? Like, people probably get pumped up from listening to the crowd.
I think that's
and
it.
The extra adrenaline.
Like, even Khabib got booed a bunch when he beat Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the kind of guy who doesn't give a fuck, so it's fine.
No.
If that was a different
that's just
person,
going to egg him on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what drives him slightly, is that he loves upsetting all the people who were there to see McGregor.
Yeah. I wonder if McGregor will ever come back again. He's teasing it, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, I feel like the original plan was meant to be whoever won last week's fight would fight. McGregor would then fight the winner of. I know, because it all got fucked up with it not being.
Yeah, it was meant to be Ferguson Khabib first.
Yeah.
And then. It probably would have been the winner of Ferguson and Khabib would have fought McGregor. But
I think it was the winner of Ferguson Khabib was then going to fight the winner of Gaethje McGregor.
Yeah.
I think that was the original. That was what got proposed.
You just never know with McGregor though, do you? It's just like there isn't set in stone who he's going to fight. I think it's all up to him. Like, who he decides he'll end up fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't fit into like the normal hierarchy of like, oh, you beat this guy and then you're going to fight this guy and then you're going to fight for the belt. Like, he just decides who he wants to fight and the UFC gives it to him.
Well, look at Tony Ferguson had like 12 wins in a row, hadn't been beat for the last time Tony Ferguson had been beat. Conor McGregor was still on welfare, and women didn't even fight in the UFC. I was reading, and
I saw that post. Did you see that post? It had like a list of different
mad things, and then but yet, as soon as Conor McGregor came in, he just gets the title shots and gets to get titles, whereas Tony Ferguson's still grinding away to try and get a title shot, and it just seems like Conor McGregor does circumvent all them usual pathways, which is a bit unfair to some.
It is unfair, but people ultimately the UFC is just it's entertainment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's money.
I think the entertainment aspect sort of overtakes the sport aspect.
Yeah,
it's not like a normal sport that has the official rankings, official points.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about who brings in the most money.
Yeah, I was worried when there was that Madison Square Garden fight, the bad motherfucker belt, and the Rock was putting on, and I was like, fuck, like this.
It's a little bit cringy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a little bit forced.
It felt like it marked the downfall of UFC.
The beginning
as
of
being
the end.
Cool.
Yeah, as
it
being
was starting
like
to go WWE.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it. Like, I like the trash talking to a certain extent, but it does get a bit too much, doesn't it?
Mm. Oh, the trash talking's not too bad, especially when it's some of them absolutely know how to be funny with it, I think, and understand that it's a bit of a joke, especially when someone lower is trying to trash talk them. Like, I feel like Jeremy Stevens once tried to say some shit to Conor McGregor and he's just like, I don't even care about him, because there's no actual animosity there. When someone's trying to create something out of nothing, it's a bit daft, and I think that gets exposed. But yeah, the back and forth like between Khabib, then it's just like, it's stupid. I think that was just all a bit ridiculous, and it then started
a bit too much.
Started getting family
crazy.
members into it and religions and stuff, and it was just like, what the fuck is even happening here?
Yeah, it was nuts. That was crazy. But UFC got exactly what they wanted out of it.
Yeah. I mean, they even at the time when he threw that metal dolly through the bus window. At the time, Dana White's obviously publicly speaking about how bang out of order that is. And then fast forward 3 months or whenever it was, and he's running the clip as the promotional for the pay-per-view, and it's like, he'll have known at the time of it being put through the window that it's, you know, it's definitely not a good thing, but he'll have been thinking about how this is helping.
How they're going to use it, yeah. That was mad, wasn't it?
Yeah. But there's another one on tomorrow night. I don't know who's fighting. Oh, it's tonight anyway, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, I feel like there's someone tonight.
I thought it was postponed or rescheduled.
Oh, really?
Or is that a different one? That might have been a different one, actually. Let me check.
They're not pushing the pay-per-view, so you might be right. But there was meant to be Saturday, Wednesday, and then Saturday or something.
Sweet. Who's on it?
God knows. I think OSP. That's all I can remember. Oh no, yeah, Wednesday. UFC
okay,
Jacksonville.
It's Anthony Smith.
Yeah.
Against Glover Teixeira.
Yeah, you'll do a better job of pronouncing that than me. He's got a couple X's in his name, like.
Yeah, I struggled there a little bit.
Have you been to Brazil much?
Yeah, I've been twice actually. I went when I was, I think I was about 20. I went with my girlfriend. We went traveling around South America. Mm-hmm. We went to Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay. I think a few other South American countries. And yeah, I love Brazil. And then recently I went back last year and filmed BJJ Stars. It was a really controversial jiu-jitsu event with Urbeth. Do you know Urbeth Santos?
No, his name rings a bell though.
It basically during the main event it was him against Felipe Pena. Yeah. And someone in Felipe Pena's corner was talking shit to Urbeth during the match, and Urbeth just went absolute psycho mode and ran off the stage and like flying kicked the guy in the crowd. And I'll send you a clip of it, and then it was just absolute pandemonium. There was just a giant riot basically in the crowd, and it spilled onto the mat, and everyone was just like chaotically running around fighting.
Holy shit.
And me and my friend James were just in the middle of it, so we were just like right in the thick of it, just filming. I was filming with the FS5. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, did you do anything with that? Did you release it at all?
Well, the thing is, I wasn't really allowed to release it because obviously it looks bad on the event.
Yeah.
But loads of other people like ripped a stream and released it and stuff. But I've teased it. But obviously my footage is the best because I'm literally like in the thick of it. But yeah, maybe I'll release it like in a couple of years or something when everyone's forgotten it.
If the actual event, if the promotion goes away, then it's not like you can be shitting on their name because they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned it. They should use it as promo. Like they should try and line up a rematch between Pena and Urbeth and just use that as a promo, similar to McGregor Khabib, because people would just love it. But it is a bit risky, isn't it? It depends where your ethics lie with that sort of thing.
Seems like Pena causes. I don't know if he brings it on himself or he starts it or what, but him and Gordon Ryan are obviously always got shitty little back and forths, and he seems like one that comes up quite a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't really blame that on Pena, to be honest. I mean, I'd say Gordon is too. Pena's a pretty nice guy. He doesn't really talk shit to other people, so that's probably coming from Gordon's side a little bit more.
Gordon Ryan talks shit to every single person on their contract.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, funny one. Have you worked with him much at all? I know he what was he kicking off about? There was the Grappler of the Year or something. I remember he was kicking off about that.
What was it on my page? Or?
Yeah, on Grapple Club.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I posted. So basically, he was he was I think he was questioning someone's position on the rankings, and I basically pointed out that if you look at the people that Gordon's beat, there's not actually that many good people. Recently, obviously he's amazing. He's amazing at nogi, but if you look at the sort of last 5-6 people he's faced, I said that 2 or 3 of them were like retired MMA guys, or just like low-level jiu-jitsu guys. And I posted that, and he reshared it and just like gave me some shit for it. Just fair enough, obviously. Like, he can do whatever he wants. And to be honest, I was slightly incorrect. It was like 2 retired MMA guys instead of 3 retired MMA guys.
Oh, right, yeah.
So like my stats weren't exactly right.
Yeah.
But
he's even said that his EBI, I think it's EBI. He's even said that it's not competitive enough. Like, he'll know that he's had many matches that are just bullshit. Like Tim Spriggs in ADCC, I watched Gordon Ryan's back take instruction, I think, and he puts his match with Tim Spriggs up, and he basically admits that he's like, well, Tim Spriggs can't do jiu-jitsu, which is quite handy when he tried to do jiu-jitsu here, because then it just left him wide open. He knows, I guess there's that certain bound where he says he's the best in the world, but then also says everyone else is shit. So you can't be too offended when you're saying that all he's done is beat shit people.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, I know at the moment he is probably the best no-gi guy in the world. Mm-hmm. Just because, I think head-to-head against Penna, he has a very good chance of beating him, even though he's lost him twice. Even against Galvao, I think he has a very good chance of beating him. But when you haven't beaten them, I don't think you can go around like so confidently claiming you are the best in the world.
Yeah.
Do I think he can beat them? Yeah, he probably can. But until you beat them, you can't really talk too much shit. That's the way I look at it anyway.
Yeah, it's a valid point. You can't say it without contest. If it was, if you
you can't say it with 100%. You can't say it with 100% confidence, can you?
No.
If but I mean, his record is good. It's just not as good as people think.
Yeah, be interesting to see next year.
Yeah.
Next ADCC, because he has to fight Galvao, right?
Yeah, I think it's in 2 years, isn't it? It's every 2 years. Next year? Oh wait, no, it will be next year, won't it?
Yeah, it was.
It'll be next year, 2021. Yeah. Which now it just feels like it's going to fly over, because
by the time jiu-jitsu starts up again, it'll be basically a year from that.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Do you watch a lot of jiu-jitsu?
Admittedly, right now, no. I used to, when I was training it, I'd be watching it all the time, because then it kind of felt like it was sinking in more. Like the amount of Gordon Ryan fights I'd watch, and then just try and mimic some of the simple shit that he does, and then it works, like just trapping arms and butterfly hooking people over.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it kind of like Marcelo style of that. Like when I was training and watching them, it made so much more sense. I did watch Submission Underground recently, but I don't know. I don't like the way that's run. Like, it just seems a bit daft.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you watch the tag team one?
No, I can't.
I'll never do that again.
I can't watch that shit. Who was it? Was it like Gordon? No, it wasn't Gordon.
No, it was Craig Jones and Nicky Rod. The Vinny Magaleras and Kyle Boehm. Yeah.
No, I can't get behind that shit.
Completely stupid. It had Craig Jones stood at one side, Kyle, what's his face, at the other.
Yeah.
And it was just Nicky Rod trying to like drag him over like a caveman for about 5-10 minutes, and then that was it. It was over. It was
ridiculous.
Stupid.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I mean, for me, I don't know. Do you enjoy watching jiu-jitsu?
Hit and miss. Most of the time, yeah. Most of the time, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, ADCC is amazing. World Ski is like hit and miss. Super fights, like, I mean, it is weird, isn't it? Jiu-jitsu is just a strange thing. Like, I'm involved with, my whole life is like, around jiu-jitsu. All my work is involved with jiu-jitsu. And yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I don't enjoy watching just like a regular jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah.
If it's ADCC, I love watching it. And certain super fights are wicked, but yeah, I don't think jiu-jitsu will ever be like this, mainstream sport that people
No.
tune in to watch.
Like Huron Gracie v. Who is he against? There was a big super fight with him and somebody else, and it was just so.
Which Gracie?
Huron and his brother.
Oh yeah, yeah. Against was it against like an MMA guy?
Maybe it was a very popular person, very high level. I could probably Google it actually.
Was it against Cyborg?
No, I don't think so. Let me have a look. But it was basically, it was versus Galvo. I feel like it was very boring because it was in the gi, and it was just 15 minutes of just nonsense.
15 minutes of Gracie just trying to survive, basically.
Yeah, and then.
Well, he was trying to prove the point that he could hang with like the best in the world.
Yeah.
But he didn't really prove much because he just tried to survive. And everyone knows, like at that level, it's very hard to submit someone if they're just trying to defend.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he opened up, Galvao would have just smashed him. But if a guy is just actively just trying to survive, it's very hard to do anything.
Yeah, even at our level, like just like any blue belt can probably survive a purple belt really if they wanted to, but it's just you get nowhere then. What are you doing with your 10 minutes?
Sure. When both people are at the same sort of level, one person trying to survive, it's going to be impossible for the guy to submit.
Yeah.
Obviously, like a black belt can tap a blue belt, purple belt easily, even if they are trying to survive. But yeah, when the level is equal, it's just not like that.
No, I feel like in that match as well, it was like the last 1 minute, I think, of the 15-minute match. Then he started to look a bit more active, because then when the buzzer goes, then it's like, if only we had more time. When he fine well knows that if you just look active for a minute, people will give you the benefit of the doubt of like, well, he was trying. But it was a very boring match, that, and I don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What have you got planned for the rest of the week?
I'm actually gonna go. My car's not with me right now, so I need to go pick it up. It went in for repair before lockdown happened, and then that was it. So then it took a while, taking a while to get back. Yeah, so I've just had no car for a long time now.
Yeah.
So I need to go 300 miles north and get that. But that's about it. I mean, there's not much else to be doing. I've got a little bit to work on. That's it.
Yeah.
Which is it's trying to exercise. Like I hate how I can just run or cycle. I'm so bored of doing those.
There's not many options, is there? Yeah, I've been lazy, to be honest. I need to do a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's annoying not being able to just like. For me, it's just like restaurants, stuff like that. Just going to the cinema, just simple things like that. It's starting to miss that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's only so many like movies you can watch at your house and stuff, and then like
there's only so many like walks you can go for.
Yeah, that's it. Like I bought a bicycle in the early days of all of this, because there's one part near my house, and I was just like, right, I'm bored of this fucking place already. It's been about 2 weeks. You just, I don't know, you need that freshness sometimes, especially when you're running, because it's grueling as it enough anyway.
Yeah.
If you're just running the same route over and over again, I just don't have the mentality that can deal with that. It's just so boring.
Yeah, it's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah. How does your training look like usually, anyway?
Non-existent.
No.
Yeah, I do little bits and bobs, go to the gym and stuff, try and get some exercise outside, but I think like last year I was quite motivated. I was going to the gym a lot, and just in the last sort of 12 months I've just been so hectic with work. I know it's not really a good excuse, but I've just I've let work take over.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I I was getting well into swimming, like as of end of last summer. I joined a gym where they had a pool, and I could like, when I wasn't doing jiu-jitsu, it meant that I could go in the pool and go in the sauna and stuff and kind of just reset my body a bit, and do a little bit of weightlifting, and then then I don't know, I miss swimming now a lot. I'm not very good at it, I don't think. I get tired kind of quickly. I'll be like in
It's
there for
hard.
20 minutes and I'm done.
What do you do? Legs?
Yeah, just lengths. But
Yeah.
even like breaststroke, if I just did breaststroke for 20 minutes, I think I'd struggle. It's just a different, because I haven't done it much in my life. Trying to get then into it and use it as a main form of exercise was just like, I don't know, maybe my efficiency is not there somewhat, but
Probably
was-
your technique.
yeah.
But just
there's
like
all that.
also your body, like your muscles just aren't built up for it.
No.
Like, you're just not used to. It's not like a natural thing, is it?
But I think I
don't do it
enjoy
well.
that in a way. It's quite,
Something
definitely-
fresh.
It's another thing to get better at, but I miss that now. And the sauna and shit as well, just like everything just makes your body just click out, and then at the moment just
It's nice,
running.
isn't it?
Yeah, if you're running all the time, I feel tight, and I just feel like no, I haven't got a flexible body anymore. I should probably just do more yoga, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
I've probably got to get going soon. I've
yeah,
got
me
a
too.
work deadline.
We're an hour and 16, but yeah, good to chat, man. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, you too. We'll do this again sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Cheers, mate.
All right, see you later.
See you later.